Hey everyone, so there is an aspect to the Green New Deal that is incredibly frightening that I haven't heard anyone talk about. I could be wrong about that, I might have missed it somewhere, but regardless, the most frightening aspect of the Green New Deal to me is the almost inevitable violence that will result if anything like this were to actually go through. Now, why do I think that violence would be inevitable? Well, as we know about the Green New Deal plan, it calls to retrofit all existing vehicles to become purely electric vehicles, or at least not run on fossil fuels. It requires every single structure in the US to be swapped over to solar energy. This includes every community center, every business, every house, every apartment complex, every condo. You name the building, the people who work, live, or congregate in those buildings must be evicted for some period of time. Now, we have seen little old ladies protest eminent domain before and do their best in not leaving their homes after the government tries to take it away from them. What do we think will happen when all 325 million Americans are told that they need to leave their homes, they need to shut their businesses down, they're not allowed to congregate where they'd like? They need to hand over their car keys to the next federal agent that knocks on their door. This would be the point where many people will say, no, I'm not doing it. No, I don't believe the world is going to end in a few years just because Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says so. Because this is not just some marginal uptick in government power. This would be a drastic increase in government intrusion that would be absolutely off the charts. People will not abide by this. People are not sold enough on this idea that they'd be willing to shut their businesses down, leave their homes, and hand over their vehicles because AOC said we are all going to die if we don't do this. At that point, you will have a heavily armed citizenry that are actively being intruded upon on a magnitude that eclipses anything we have ever seen in the US. And furthermore, I've never met a military service personnel that even remotely seem like they would be willing to defend the US government from pushback that stems from something like this. So that line of defense for the government will probably, at least, be severely degraded. So it's a question that libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, and even small government conservatives get sometimes, which is, at what point is forceful defense necessary to protect yourself from a government intruding on your business, your family, your home, and your property? And I think that's the wrong question, and I'm not really sure what the answer to that is. Although I certainly don't think the situation we have right now is appropriate for violence. That would be a catastrophic and immoral mistake. But rather, a better question is, at what point does it not matter what I think, and at what point would violence be inevitable anyway? My answer to that question would be millions of people having their property forcefully seized even though they've done nothing wrong, and millions of people being forcefully displaced from their homes and businesses despite it being temporary. Who knows how temporary that could be, and who knows what kind of damage that would inflict on these people's lives. Well, they would know better than me, and I'm sure the damage would not be trivial, and I'm sure that a lot of people would seriously start considering how they're going to defend themselves from having this damage inflicted upon them. So to me, the most dangerous aspect to the Green New Deal is how it uproots and forcefully displaces people from their lives, and what are their reactions going to be? Will they lie down and take it? I doubt it. And will the government shoot back? I don't doubt that one bit, as they have often done. Which leads me to my final little point, which is this. Would the likes of Ocasio-Cortez pull back on the Green New Deal if anything like this ever happened? If people were so opposed to it that they would actually defend themselves from that intrusion, would she say, okay, maybe this wasn't the best idea? I seriously doubt it. She would point the finger at those who are trying to defend themselves, and she would accuse them of being backwards and not progressive enough, and thinking too much in terms of individualism and private property, and not enough in communal terms. I think this is important to always keep in your mind, because I think it's important to always be cognizant of the fact that at the end of the day, all of these things that AOC supports, she is more than willing to have government guns pointed at the heads of innocent people so she can push forth her pet projects. I think that is a small but very important fact to always consider. But that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share my content. That would be a huge help and unbelievably appreciated. Thank you very much.